It's happening again, and this time, the palace walls are shaking for real. Word from Westminster has escaped into the world, and it's the kind of rumor that makes even Buckingham chandeliers tremble. The British Parliament, yes! The same lawmakers who once swore loyalty to the crown are reportedly preparing to do what even the monarchy itself refuses to: strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their royal titles once and for all. After years of tell-all interviews, Netflix deals, and red carpet rebellion, the patience of Britain's establishment has finally snapped. But this time, the whispers aren't tabloid fiction. There are papers being drawn, clauses being reviewed, and signatures quietly prepared. If the plan succeeds, Harry and Meghan could lose everything: their titles, their status, and that final thread connecting them to the royal world they once fled. But this story isn't just about punishment. It's about power, legacy, and one future king who's done playing the polite prince. Inside London's Parliament buildings, something unusual is stirring. A quiet coalition of lawmakers has begun pushing what insiders call the Royal Titles Reform Act. Think of it as a constitutional earthquake disguised as a polite document. This single act could do what no monarch has dared in a century: rewrite the rules of royal entitlement. It's being described behind closed doors as a reset button, a legislative broom sweeping through decades of untouched royal privilege. According to whispers from Westminster, the proposal wouldn't just target the Sussexes. It would apply to any royal whose actions have brought the crown into disrepute, creating a new system where titles must be earned through service, not celebrity. Lawmakers claim this is about modernizing tradition, not vengeance. But behind the formal language, there's a colder truth: Britain's patience has reached its limit. For years, the monarchy has stood still while its scandals moved at the speed of social media. Now Parliament wants to remind the palace who truly holds the power. Yet, this bill didn't appear out of nowhere. It has fingerprints, royal ones. Palace insiders whisper that the real push didn't come from Parliament at all. It came from Kensington. For months, Prince William has been quietly watching as his younger brother transformed royal duty into Hollywood spectacle. Every podcast, every documentary, every headline dragging their family name through the mud, it all built into a slow, silent fury. William stayed quiet, at least in public, but those close to him describe that silence as deliberate. Because in royal life, silence isn't peace, it's strategy. Eventually, his patience cracked. During one private meeting, a courtier claims William said what everyone in the palace had been thinking: enough. Enough of the mockery, the chaos, the crown being turned into content. And from that moment, the gears began to turn. Political allies started listening. Legal drafts were quietly commissioned. The heir to the throne wasn't just waiting for change, he was engineering it. When William loses patience, history moves, and this time the movement began not with outrage, but with paperwork. While William's strategy gathered momentum, King Charles faced a battle of his own. Those inside Buckingham described nights of long walks through echoing corridors, the king pacing, torn between affection and duty. On one hand, he's a father who still loves his son. On the other, he's a monarch who knows hesitation looks like weakness. Advisors urged him to act, warning that if Parliament led first, the crown would look powerless. But Charles feared the backlash, especially from across the Atlantic, where Meghan remains a symbol of independence and injustice to many. One advisor supposedly told him, if you sign it, they'll call it cruelty. If you don't, they'll call it cowardice. Trapped between perception and principle, the king stalled. But hesitation in royal life creates a vacuum, and William filled it. Father and son now communicate rarely, their exchanges described as formal and cold. No shouting, no confrontation, just a frost that never melts. Because in the royal world, silence isn't the absence of argument. It is the argument. Meanwhile, across the ocean, Meghan Markle has built an empire around a single word: Duchess. Her image, her ventures, her entire identity orbit that title. From luxury branding to charity partnerships, the word Duchess carries weight, and that weight has become her trademark. But in London, lawmakers and royal aides see it differently. To them, Meghan's use of her royal title for business isn't empowerment, it's exploitation. Reports claim she even used variations of her title on legal documents tied to her ventures, a move that raised eyebrows in both Westminster and Buckingham. One insider reportedly joked, "She turned royalty into retail." And though tabloids laughed, the palace wasn't amused. Behind the scenes, William's team began coordinating with sympathetic MPs, preparing clauses that could block any future commercial use of royal titles. If the bill passes, Duchess of Sussex could vanish from every contract overnight. For Meghan, it's not just about business, it's about identity. She built her global image around being the Duchess who walked away, but what happens when the crown she walked away from finally walks away from her? While the storm gathers in London, Harry and Meghan's life in Montecito carries on, outwardly serene but increasingly tense behind closed doors. Sources close to the couple describe frantic calls, emergency meetings, and growing fear that their royal connection, the foundation of their brand, might collapse. Harry, once the soldier prince, now the celebrity husband, reportedly feels the pressure most. Friends say he's reached out to the palace multiple times, trying to speak to his father, hoping for understanding. Some describe his tone as desperate, others as remorseful. Because without his title, everything changes. The speaking tours, the book deals, the global allure. The name Prince Harry opens doors that Harry Windsor might not. Yet, according to one aide, when asked if reconciliation was possible, William's response was short and final. He made his choice, now he lives with it. To William, Harry isn't a rival anymore. He's a liability. And for the establishment, he's become a symbol of what happens when privilege turns into profit. But this battle isn't only about the couple, it's about their children. Archie and Lilibet, born thousands of miles from London, have become unexpected players in a constitutional drama. Meghan insists their titles are birthrights, symbols of heritage, not politics. But Parliament doesn't see it that way. Lawmakers are citing the 1,917 letters patent, the same law that defined royal hierarchy for generations, to argue that titles belong only to those who live and serve in the United Kingdom. One MP was blunt, "No crown for California kids." The phrase ignited headlines and online outrage in equal measure. To Meghan, it sounded like an attack on her children. To Parliament, it was just policy. Behind the scenes, Meghan reportedly convened her PR team, rewriting business plans and public statements to prepare for the worst. Because if those titles disappear, so does much of the Sussex's royal shine. And then, one night, the unthinkable happened. London slept under a cold fog, the palace lights dim. Just past midnight, the royal website quietly updated. 2 names vanished. No statement, no ceremony, no press release, just gone. The titles, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, were erased from official listings. By morning, the story had exploded. Parliament's motion had passed without fanfare, and Buckingham Palace declined to deny it. Inside the palace, aides called the mood somber but necessary. For King Charles, it was a moment of relief and heartbreak intertwined. His reign could finally move forward, though at a cost only a father could understand. For William, it was vindication. No gloating, no public comment, just a silent sense of order restored. The monarchy, in his eyes, had survived another crisis. For Harry and Meghan, it was the final curtain. The brand they built around royal rebellion dissolved overnight. The fairy tale that began in Windsor had ended in pixels on a government website. In that moment, the monarchy proved that while fame fades, the crown endures. And as dawn broke over Westminster, Britain awoke to a question that lingered in every headline. If Parliament and the future king can rewrite royal history once, what else might they rewrite next? Because this isn't just the end of one couple's story, it's the start of a new chapter for the monarchy itself. A version no longer ruled by tradition alone, but by survival. The message is clear. Royalty in 2025 isn't inherited, it's maintained. Service, not celebrity. Duty, not drama. And though the world may debate whether Harry and Meghan were victims or rebels, one fact remains: the crown moves on, even when its family doesn't. The palace stands, its silence louder than words, and history quietly turns the page. For Harry and Meghan, it's a hard lesson. You can walk away from the throne, but the throne never walks away from you.